Todd McFarlane is no doubt a talented artist. If you don't like his style, well, that's fine. I admit sometimes it's a bit hard to understand what's happening on the page, but overall, his art is unique and stylish. His writing, though, not so much. And back in the late 80s, Tom made a name for himself, and Marvel wanted that name all over their books in the 90s. So they gave Todd his very own Spider-Man book. This was huge, and it became one of the best, if not the best, selling issue for Marvel at the time. With Todd's over-the-top but stylish art, Marvel couldn't lose on this move. Reading it 30 years later, though, the art is still flashy and alive, which is nice, but the stories... ouch. And before we jump back into review, I did want to talk about an awesome guy who runs an awesome little business called Omni bookmarks, and this guy is on Instagram. You can check him out right now. I'm showing you the page as we are talking, and he does phenomenal work if you're a big fan of bookmarks. And like me, I hate folding my pages. Even just a little turn on the edge really kind of irritates me. So these bookmarks have been my favorite new thing, and I love switching the bookmarks mattering what I'm reading, whether it be manga, comics, indie, Marvel, DC, whatever it is. I like to switch it up, and as you can see, he has made some extraordinary ones for me. He works very well with most people, and he can make custom designs for you, but he has so many badass ones too online. You gotta check those out. So this is not a paid sponsor. This guy's just awesome. I want to promote him. Please go check it out. If you want a bookmark for your omnibuses, look no further. These are high quality, good ass shit. So I'm just going to go through each arc because it's pretty short. The first is probably one of the better in the collection, Torment, but it's basically about a voodoo lady-like woman trying to torment Spidey. She's using the lizard as a weapon against him, forcing Spider-Man to eventually clash with the lizard. This fight is pretty brutal. This is definitely a darker take for the webhead, and I will say that I think it starts off interesting enough, if not edgy, and there are some great looking panels here with the lizard and Spider-Man, but the story, man, that simmers down pretty quick into just meh by the end. Then we get a Hobgoblin two-parter that actually is not bad. It's pretty fun, but very dark, as Hobgoblin has never looked cooler in here, but also a bit fucked up. Add in a little boy who's basically brainwashed by the Goblin and kind of branded, and Spider-Man and Ghost Rider have to work together, but they're also at odds with each other of how to take care of the Hobgoblin. It just creates an entertaining two-part story that looks really good. But then we take a dip in quality as we get to Wendigo as the main villain, or at least the plot point for the next story, which is just basically about animal cruelty, but it's extremely heavy-handed, and the mystery or the hunt of the story just doesn't work for me. This one is just extremely drawn out, and the terrible subplot for Peter as a reporter to deal with is not well written. Wolverine, though, is actually surprisingly entertaining enough when he comes into the story, and I actually enjoyed his part of it, but even he cannot save this terribly dragged out storyline that becomes just a boring team up by the end. Boring would probably be the best word to describe this one. But that's more than I could say for the very terrible Morbius story that closes everything, and God is it awful, with a basically prototype for the Violator in here for Spawn. McFarlane was leaving Marvel soon, and you can see it and feel it. And then a single issue with Juggernaut fails to live up to the other issues with Juggernaut versus Spider-Man. And this one is just a story that makes you a little bit sleepy, and you have the terribly bland X-Force to boot. This storyline, just overall, is not fun at all. So this is an art book. And that's how I see it, that's how I view it, that's how I rate it. Because if you want to see great poses, you want to see some cool fights, you want to see some great designs, I think this is worth going through and enjoying it for the art alone. And I did get this book for about 25-30 bucks, so I don't hate it. I certainly enjoyed the art, and the first half I thought was decent enough with the stories, but the second half is pretty bad, and really not worth reading at all if I'm being 100% honest here. I probably didn't really need to read and waste about 30 minutes of my life reading these issues. So, saying that, I can't give this a very high rating, a 2 out of 5 at best, and that's really for the art, which is still stylish to this day, but everything else is either just okay, decent, or downright bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I love making them. I don't love making them when I don't love the product, but you know, that's just how it goes with reviewing stuff. Always honest here. And I think this one is just meh, not very good. But saying that, I hope you did enjoy. And if you did, hit the subscribe button because I got a lot more stuff like this coming out. I do a lot of omnibus reviews and a lot of comic focused videos, but I also do other nerdy stuff. And if you like nerd stuff like video games and just horror movies and all that great stuff, stick around. You might enjoy some stuff. Everybody else, have a wonderful day.